affiliates. Listener discretion is advised. And KPSU has been broadcasting since 1994 on the Portland State campus, and we're streaming to you worldwide 24/7 at www.kpsu.org. We also have to thank wonderful Sub-Basement Studios for putting today's show up on their live stream. If you go to YouTube/PSU TV, that's the letters PSU and the letters TV, you can watch the band performing, and that band is the Acoustic Minds, and here they are ready to perform for you live in the KPSU studio.
Hi, welcome everybody. I guess we're getting started. We're Acoustic Minds. Thanks for having us, Rochelle. Silence. Where is all the silence? Need some peace and quiet. These voices never quit. Silence, hiding in the shadows. Every shadow has a secret. Every shape, every cloud. Footsteps bounding like a heartbeat, echoes chasing me down the back streets. Got lost in the noise, and it cut so deep. Breathing, I can feel the rhythm now. Crashing thunder in a hollow town. Every thought's a storm that I can't shut out. Stay with me now. Down, down, down. A chain reaction. Too much fire in my system. Too much heat, too much friction. You're not broke, you can fix it. Stay with me now. Chasing me down the back streets, got lost in the noise.
Woo, way to get things going.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. And of course, you've got new music you're sharing with us, which I'm very excited about.
Yes, it's all new. Well, not all new, but a lot of new music we'll be sharing today. Yes.
Just so exciting. And before we jump into all the details of that new music, which I'm very excited about too, back up for those who are not familiar with the Acoustic Minds, can you tell them a little bit about you? And of course, there's that name that on the social media handles that we see, the AM as well as Acoustic Minds. Maybe clarify a little.
Yeah, I'm Amanda. This is my twin sister, Jenny. We're from Portland. Acoustic Minds is two twins who love to sing, who have been chasing acoustics their whole life. That's kind of where the name Acoustic came from, in the minds. And all of us being just a collective of people who want to write music together. It started out with a partner of hers, and then they called me into it, and we formed this band many, many moons ago. And in the meantime, of course, we started out a little bit acoustic, so it made sense with that. But just for those clarifying, obviously, when you're hearing the music out into the world, it doesn't sound very acoustic. So that's the kind of abbreviated version of our name, the AM, as we started to go a little bit more electronic. The sound and the name evolved, and so we can be called Acoustic Minds, we can be called the AM, and either one of those are us. But yeah, from Portland, happy to be here at Portland State with you again. We've been coming here for a long time, Rochelle.
I know, we go way back now.
Yeah, I don't know how long ago it was, but it was a minute ago. So
Let's not date us. It was when we were 1 year old.
Right, there we go. We were all toddlers.
Yes, thank you. I mean, it has to be like 10 years.
Right, which means, we're, what, teenagers now?
Right. I was going to say that would mean we were in middle school or something.
Right, there we go. I'll go with that.
Yes.
Of course, you do still have the lovely acoustic guitar with you to stay true to that name.
Yes, and I think also like Acoustic Minds will always be us, just because we are huge reverb and echo chamber type junkies. We look for that everywhere we go. So for those that out there that are like, what do you mean? It's like stairwells or bathrooms or parking lots where you get that really nice reverb when you speak out. Or if you're at the Grand Canyon and you said hello, we would go hello, hello, hello. Those are the reverbs that we chase, and we just love them so much.
The acoustics.
Yeah, the acoustics, or the reverberation that happens in a room. And we actually just did a very stripped down show just with guitar and voices last week at the Laurel Thirst Pub with Christopher Worth, and it was really cool. We, for the first time in a long time, didn't play with any beats. It was just guitar and voices, and stripped some of these songs down, and it made them like have a completely different meaning to me personally. So
Right, it just has a different set of emotions at that point, because you have, again, as to your point, when it's stripped down and different, plus you have the accompaniment with Christopher Worth that changes it too.
Yeah, and we sang with him, but we opened with our own set, so it was really cool to, we did Undertow, which is like this dubby dubstep song, just stripped down, and it really made the lyrics, I think, for me personally, stand out a little bit more, and I could tell by the audience that they were kind of just hearing it differently, it's fun. So we're not opposed to doing acoustic shows. We're going to lean into that a little bit too.
That's exciting. Plus, okay, going back again to my first introduction to you when you were actually backups for Marv Ellis, who...
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Garrick.
Right? Who is in, was it Free Creatures now?
Yes, he's in Free Creatures. That's right.
Right. And I got to see all of you performing together at the Folk Festival not that long ago. So it's nice to have sort of a full circle moment.
Really cool. They did their set stripped down too, and they haven't done that. That was the first time they've ever done that. I really enjoyed that set.
Yeah, they're killing it. Free Creatures, y'all.
And again, it was just sort of nice sort of full circle moment for me to be like, oh, and they're all on the stage together now.
Right. It's been a long time since we've been on the stage together, and it was a really cherished time of our journey of music. He lived with us for a long time and wrote a bunch of records there, and we were just harmonizing with him. I mean, gosh, it was like 4 or 5 years we played music together, so definitely really a treat to hear them and see, their trajectory and success and all of that.
It was great. Now, given that journey you've gone on, how would you describe your music today as it is today?
I mean, I think it's still very moody and heartfelt, and we like to touch on subjects of grief and loss, and also kind of twist that with like a happy beat, or there might be like a nostalgic synth line that makes you feel as if like you're inspired. I'm thinking of like Breakfast Club when he goes out into the football field and shoots his fist in the air. That kind of music is what we're trying to make.
That's very real. Yeah, I think that we've always been songwriters, and so that's the important piece of wherever the music goes, we want the songs to tell a story. And I think sometimes with electronic music, it's more of like a hook, that they've like repeated or they've chopped up into little bits, and you're like, hi, love, like little things, and it's like we're really trying to bring in the same vibe that has like this element of electronic music, but with actual songs. And so, you're going to get a full story, not just maybe a phrase, which, don't get me wrong, I love EDM and I love that music. There's plenty of songs that I listen to that only have one sentence that I will repeat over and over again. But, we grew up listening to the classics. Our parents were super amazing music heads. And so, it was like Joni Mitchell and the Eagles and Chicago and Linda Ronstadt, Bonnie Raitt, Fleetwood Mac, things like that. And so we have, we're very attracted to songwriters. Songwriting is a piece of your soul, and I could feel it in those songs, as we were growing up, even little girls. I think that we were so drawn to music because of the stories they told and the way it made us feel. A little bit of that has to do with us being Scorpios and complete empaths. So
Water signs in the building.
We like to flow like the water.
But we're also Aquarius moon and Libra rising, so a ton of air.
Yeah, we're
like a hurricane.
Typhoon. Yeah. No
You said typhoon. I said hurricane.
Yeah.
Those that know us, you get to weigh the odds. Which one are we? They're going to be like
all
both.
all of the above. Yes.
Depends on where you are in the world.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, I think that it was a dream of ours for so long. When we first started out, the guitar was like the instrument that helped facilitate our voices. But then as we got going and playing with just a plethora of amazing musicians, we went from everywhere from AAA to blues music to soul to we were singing with reggae artists, and the whole time we really just wanted to create this music that we're making now. So the journey has been an arduous one, but it's been wonderful. And where we are now is, I think, the most authentic, and I love that we can take the songs that we've written and still strip them down acoustic, and they can still touch you the same way or maybe in a different way, but our goal is that they're going to make you feel something.
So the song you have on your set list for next, what's the overriding emotion that's being communicated there?
Oh, gosh. There's a lot. This song that we have on the set next is for our dad. He passed away 6 years ago this February. We grew up singing with him. He was the worship leader in our church, and we really we thought he was an angel, honestly. Like, he had the most incredible voice. I mean, he was a savant when it came to music. He could pick up any instrument and play it. He had perfect pitch. He was really just someone that spearheaded what we would know now as our career. But back then, it was just part of our dad singing to us and us wanting to sing with him, and that's how the music came together. We never learned to harmonize. We just latched onto his voice, and we like to joke and say we've been latching on ever since to any voice we can. Mostly our when we get to sing with each other, but being able to sing with others, as you know, Rochelle, we do that constantly, is one of our greatest joys. And so this song is really for Dad. It's about grief. It's about loss. It's about understanding those full circle moments when you're a kid and you maybe grew up in a tough situation where you felt like an adult as a child, and then also in those moments as you become an adult and you're starting to settle into who you are, you're now realizing you're becoming the parent to your adult parent. So it's a juxtaposition, I think. And with him, he struggled with mental illness. I think the time frame that he grew up, that wasn't talked about a lot. There was a lot of trauma, and yes, we are very woo-woo, but there is that generational trauma that's in our DNA that we're just trying to conquer and get through and break through. And they weren't really talking about that stuff. Our parents, bless them, they did the best they could. They came from their parents who were depression babies, and
we like to say if we can cut through the boomers, we know we've made it. But, it's just something they didn't talk about. And I think it's really amazing in the generation we are now that mental health is such a big piece of your own sanity. Taking care of yourself, self-care is a piece that people talk about on the regular, which I don't think our parents got at all. It's still something we're trying to help our mom with. But, with our dad, it was a struggle. And he went from being, this full of life human to kind of losing himself in his mind. And he chose to combat that by going out and living on the Washington Peninsula. For those in the airwaves, if you're not in Oregon, the coast that we live in the Northwest is absolutely glorious. And we find a lot of solace there. And he did as well. So yeah, this song is really, it's an homage to him. But as we sing it, there's many things that we feel. Sometimes it's sadness. Sometimes it's happiness. It is also like a shout out to anyone you may have lost. I think that in our sets when we perform this live, it tends to affect people in different ways because everyone's lost someone in their lives. And sometimes it was like the day before and the song comes in for them. And we've had so many people just crying, coming to us and saying, this is what I needed. So as always, music being the healing force, I think that's going to heal our entire world. It's that universal language that keeps us going. So yeah, this song's called Fend for Yourself, and it's for you, Dad.
Thank you.
You say you know what you want from me. Child's play, baby, all you see is me. Never would have left you alone in the dark if I knew you couldn't fend for yourself. I never would have left you alone in the dark if I knew you couldn't fend for yourself. You say you know what you wanna do. Child's play, baby, all you see is you. And I never would have left you alone in the dark if I knew you couldn't fend for yourself. I never would have left you alone in the dark if I knew you couldn't fend for yourself. Never would have left. Never would have left. Never would have left you alone in the dark. Never would have left. You say you know what you wanna do. Child's play, baby, all you see is you. And I never would have left you alone in the dark if I knew you couldn't fend for yourself. I never would have left you alone in the dark if I knew you couldn't fend for yourself. You say you know what you want from me. Child's play, baby, all you see is me. And I never would have left you alone in the dark if I knew you couldn't fend for yourself. I never would have left you alone in the dark if I knew you couldn't fend for yourself. Fend for yourself. Never would have left. Never would have left you alone in the dark, dark, dark. I never would have left. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We love you, Dad. We miss you. This song goes out to anybody you guys might have lost. Oh, it's all for you. Only you. It's all for you. Never would have left you alone in the dark, dark, dark. I never would have left.
So that one's for you, Dad. If anyone was out there was thinking of someone that they came into your heart, we hope that you just keep them there for a moment and you just remember to celebrate those moments that we have. I say this a lot during our live shows, but I think grief is such an interesting thing. It's one of those things that you, in the wake of it, it's terrible. But then as you move through it, it's kind of this gift because it just reminds you that you cared so much for a person that you actually grieved them. So, yeah, if you were feeling someone out there out in the radio world, just hold them there for a second. And let's remember to celebrate them every day. Our next song we're going to do is a song that we wrote out at the Oregon coast at a beautiful place called Seal Rock. If you know Seal Rock, it's in between Newport and Yachats. If you blink, you might miss it because it's only about 3 blocks. But we rented an Airbnb, and when we do writing, or when we decide that we're going to do a writing retreat, which we're about to do one on Sunday through Wednesday with Josh and Aaron. Shout out to Josh and Aaron on all of these beats and production. They're our second half of songwriters with us and producers and just incredible human beings. We love you guys. Rochelle has definitely interviewed them here in the studio before.
She knows.
But this song we wrote about a beautiful cove that we found as we were leaving our Airbnb to go for a walk. The tide had gone out, so we saw a couple next to us, and they said, "Oh, you guys got to get down there. It just looks amazing." So they said you can either go about 1.5 miles, a straight road just all the way to the coast, or you can scale this cliff and take this treacherous route, and you'll be down there in about 15 minutes. And, you know, we all looked at each other and said, let's scale the cliff. So we went down this really, really small trail that had been like edged out through all of this ivy, and ended up coming around, scaling the cliff, and found ourselves in this beautiful cove with just porous rocks and smooth rocks, and where the water had been slapping the cliff all day long. All of these percussive sounds were coming off of the rocks and falling into the sand. And, you know, in true musician form, Josh had to record that. And about 15 minutes from getting back from this beautiful walk where the sun was setting, and I'll have to show you some pictures, Rochelle, but gosh, it was gorgeous. Dreamscape was born, which is this next song. It's going to be out on our newest record, which is about apocalyptic love, because, gosh, how are you guys feeling out there? We've been going through it with what's going on in the world.
Wait,
let me tell you. Yeah, it's been a little rough out there, and I think it's okay to admit that, you know, we really want to embrace the fact that although the world can seem chaotic and just burning itself down in a lot of ways, we have to be able to find those love bubbles to recharge, refuel, and also just kind of enjoying what we have in front of us. I think for so many of all of us, just as humans, we're either looking in the past of how we could change something, or we're looking towards the future for what we're saving for, or what we hope to be, or, you know, like for all of us that go to school, you know, we're planning for our next careers. And I think that sometimes we just forget to soak it up and be grateful for what we have right here. And so this song is all about that. It's called Dreamscape, and you'll hear a little cameo from the Oregon coast in there.
Yes. They say down the trail's end. Let's get away, out across the ocean to the great escape. Step into the dreamscape, to our secret place, our secret place, our secret place. I'm something of a dreamer, but I'm wide awake, our secret place. Step into the green to a hideaway, down the trail's end, let's get away, out across the ocean to the great escape. Step into the dreamscape, to our secret place, our secret place. And KPSU, if you listen real close, you're gonna hear that Oregon coast.
I love that you sampled the actual ocean sounds in there.
We had
That's
to.
so fun.
It was funny too because Josh and Amanda and I were like, "What is happening with these rocks?" It's like this rock was dropping in to the sand, and there was a deep hole where the water had just kept over and over again dropping into it, and it would just reverberate as we were talking about the acoustics. And Josh was like, "We got to get that." So he just pulled out his little iPhone, and thank you, iPhone, becomes a microphone, and next thing you know, can throw it right into the track.
It's fantastic. Totally opposite direction from the ocean here. South by Southwest, middle of the desert.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
Texas.
That was your, besides the Laurelwood, your most recent tour spot, I should say.
Yeah, we were out for about 2.5 weeks, 16 days on the road. We left early March, kicked it off with a couple release shows. We played in Seattle because we have a new single out, so we were on this tour for the new single, which we're going to do next after this. But we played in Seattle, we played in Eugene, and then we played at Ron Tom's in Portland right before we took off, and it was just an incredible night of friends and family. We played with a dear friend, Haley Lynn, who is an incredible artist here in town. And then we were on the road. We drove, this time, what we normally do is we will set up tour dates all the way down to Texas and then all the way back. And by the time we get to South by Southwest, we're a little burnt out because we've played already 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10 shows. Yeah. And this time around, we decided to do it a little differently. We decided to drive to Texas, which is a good solid
3 days.
3.5 days.
Yeah.
And then our first showcases were in Austin for South by Southwest, which was awesome because we were refreshed, we were rejuvenated. And so we were down in Austin. We played at the Lucky Duck. Shout out to our Austin fam. Shout out to all our new Austin fans.
That's right.
We had a really great time. Played a showcase, closed out for a big sync company out of New York. They're called Music Gorilla. Shout out to Music Gorilla for hosting us, having us, choosing us to be your headlining act for Saturday night. It was incredible. For those that don't know what sync is, it's licensing where you can take the music you're hearing right now and you will hear it either in a movie or television or commercial. A lot of artists are having their music synced through like Netflix or streaming platforms, and that's what this company does specifically. So we went out, we performed, just crushed the set. It was so much fun. And at the very end of our show, Fire Marshal came in and said that they had packed the place past capacity, kicked everyone out of the bar. So it went from like the highest high to like the strangest buzzkill because they're like, get out! And we were like, wait, seriously? Did we really shut that down? We shut it down. We shut down Austin. Okay. But also we were like, wait, come back. We want to meet you.
Yeah, it was definitely a trippy moment because we were so pumped and we were on this like high. And we were telling you a little bit, we called this the Elements Tour without knowing that all the elements were going to be coming up with us. Right before our set, there was a tornado that touched down in Austin. There was a big fire because of how much the wind was. And so we were just really fortunate that our set happened. And so in that moment when we were just flying high, this random, I mean, obviously it was very packed in there. So I think that we could tell that. It was also the weekend of St. Patrick's Day. So you guys can do the math there. There was a lot of debauchery happening. And maybe that was a piece of why everything got shut down. But
No, they came to see us only, Amanda. Come on.
well, I wasn't even meaning that part. I just meant they were lit. Everyone was very, very, very,
That's
very.
what drew the attention
Yes.
to the crowd.
Well, actually, what was funny, we came into the venue a couple hours early, and I mean, they had a line outside of the venue all day long just because I guess people just know that's the spot. The Lucky Duck is just a really sweet spot off East 6th in Austin. And just shout out to Austin in general. Everyone's just so wonderful and warm and kind. And it was warm. It was so warm that a tornado dropped down on the ground and it started a fire about 20 minutes outside of Austin. So they had several thousands of acres that were just like on fire during our set. So it was lit in the club and it was lit outside of the city.
That's right.
You have to be
We didn't
careful
bring
what
the
you-
fire, but we brought the
Fire emojis
Not
across
the real
the
fire.
board.
We brought the metaphorical fire.
You have to be careful what you manifest now.
I know, right? I was like, let's bring the fire. And then we're like, oh, shoot, we didn't mean it. Put it out. We want those beautiful vineyards to live.
Right. You have to be a little more conscious of what you're manifesting. You don't mean it to be so literal.
Right. We actually have to remind ourselves a lot of that because you can sometimes manifest the wrong things because you're saying all the negative stuff and that comes your way and we're like, how? How could this happen? And you're like, oh, wait, that was my mind doing that.
Okay, shifting gears a little bit, talking about your new single, which I've definitely had on repeat on Spotify a lot.
Yay!
It's so much fun. And of course, it's almost cliche now when people talk about music of breakup songs and love songs and all of that. And of course, this song includes those elements, but it has, I don't know, a different vibe to it than your typical love or breakup song.
Yes.
It feels different.
Wait, how does it feel for you? I want to hear.
It just, I don't know, it feels more like what you would hear is sort of like a bop, that it's just like this happy upbeat thing and you're expecting it to be more like, I don't know, more of a dancey type vibe. And instead you're hearing this love story and it's like, wait a minute. And then it's not a true love story because you're hearing all the issues and things like getting that person, the things that are stuck in your head that are the problems, and realizing you're part of the problem. And
Yes.
all
And
of
actually,
that.
it is a true love story.
Oh, yes.
All of it.
Oh, yes.
And that song was written when both Aaron and I were going through a breakup. And as he and I do a lot of times when we're feeling heartache, we call each other and meet up and write about it. And literally was staring down at our phones waiting for our exes to text us back. And all of these different scenarios of all of the friends were telling their own stories of what had happened. And it turns into this game of telephone where by the time it gets back to you, the story has been so rearranged that it's not even fathomable to what it was. And then also just this concept of like, wow, it sucks so bad right now, but in the long run, will it even matter? Like, we're going to look back on this even 3 years down the road, and it's just going to feel like a blip in time to what's new in our lives, right? And I can tell you this song was written a long time ago, and it does feel like a blip in time. And it feels good to be able to perform it now and sing it now and have people relate in a different way. And also to know that we got over that hurdle. Like, we're still friends with those partners, and it took a long time to get there, but that's what it's about, is that it's not about the he said or she said. It's about will this even matter?
Just intrigues that line I took as when you were talking about the issues and problems, it's, does this problem even matter right now?
Yeah.
It, like your relationship issue of,
Yes.
why are we dwelling on this? Can we get past this in the relationship?
Exactly.
Will it matter in the long run?
Yeah,
That's exactly what it is. I
think
love that. You got that.
Sometimes, when you're in the thick of it, when you break up with someone, let's just be real, you don't want to lose that friendship. That was your best friend. That was your person. And so
you're hoping upon all hopes that you're going to become friends again or stay friends or this new variation of whatever that is. But most of the time you don't. And that's a really sad piece because, you know, again, in the long run, will any of that stuff matter? Because the friendship is really, you know, ultimately what kept you guys together. Yes, there was love and lust and all these wonderful things, but it was like you were best friends, you know, and I know for me, at least in all of my serious relationships, that was my person, you know. So I think that that's another piece that's very real, you know, like you're like, can't we just skip all this, you know, beep and move on, you know, and like still be here for one another and still support one another and find the way to craft this new relationship into something that was just as special as the romantic relationship.
All the heavy things in such an upbeat package.
I like that you said it was a bop, though, because it is a bop.
All right, well, let's hear it now.
Okay. All right, this one's the long run. First time on KPSU radio, and it's making its debut here. So thanks to Rochelle for having us. Thanks to Ella for doing our sound. Elijah for doing our video. I know you're out there, world, watching this.
So what's it gonna be? I keep staring down at my phone. You ain't texting back to me. It's not the same with you and me anymore. You ain't trying to call me. You don't wanna see me. Girl, for me has left the building. It's obvious to me now. If I'm honest, you ain't ever coming back. I'll make all the same mistakes. You won't let my mind erase the problems that we had. You will say it's different, but this ain't so different. Then the scene will fade to black. I'll make all the same mistakes. You won't let my mind erase the problems that we had. You will say it's different, but this ain't so different. Then the scene will fade to black. Oh my God, did you change your pace? Well, you almost stopped when you saw my face. Don't look at me like that. Would you bite your tongue? When we looking back, will it even matter in the long run? No, we won't. Your friends, my friends, up in smoke. Put it on repeat, play telephone. Take a little deep, will it even matter in the long run? See what you gonna say. So caught up in the moment, what you wanna play a game? Would you play the same hand as before? Tell me what I wanna hear, doesn't matter if it's clear. Go ahead and stroke my ego. We play nice but on a show, but we both know you ain't ever coming back. I'll make all the same mistakes. You won't let my mind erase the problems that we had. You will say it's different, but this ain't so different. Then the scene will fade to black. Oh my God, did you change your pace? Well, you almost died when you saw my face. Don't look at me like that. Would you bite your tongue? When we're looking back, will it even matter in the long run? No, we won't. Your friends, my friends, up in smoke. Put it on repeat, play telephone. Dig a little deep, will it even matter in the long run? You put on a show, better safe to know. This was not what you expected. I wish that I never met you. If only I had known what I didn't know. What you meant, I won't forget you. I wish that I never met you.
Oh my God, did you change your pace? Well, you almost died when you saw my face. Don't look at me like that. Would you bite your tongue? When we're looking back, will it even matter in the long run?
No, we won't. Your friends, my friends, up in smoke. Put it on repeat, play telephone. Take a little deep, will it even matter in the long run? Oh my God.
world premiere, KPSU, The Long Run. That's exciting. Thank you, Rochelle, for letting us play that. Also, thanks to all the people that have been streaming The Long Run. I know you said you are one of them, but it's been such a treat to see this song kind of get a lot of streams, which as independent artists, we are just so thankful for. So thank you to all the new listeners. We had over 4,000 new listeners that were streaming this song. It released a month ago, and it got picked up on a few very cool official playlists through Spotify. So shout out Spotify. I know you don't really pay us much, but we still are very thankful for the fact that you are putting us into playlists, and the people that choose those playlists, thanks for choosing our song. And anyone out there that wants to stream that song, you can go to Spotify, look up Acoustic Minds, and the song is called The Long Run. It's the first one on our profile, and we would love it if you could click the little follow button if you like us, and go one step further, do the little plus, which means you've liked the song. And then also, once you do that, you can either just keep listening to it, or you can add it to a playlist. That really is a big thing for independent artists. I know some of you out there don't understand the minutia that is being an independent artist is in this wild, wild west of a world.
It's hard, y'all. It's hard.
It's super hard. So that really does help, and we've gone more than double our actual listeners and followers in the last year. So thanks to all the people who have been clicking that little follow button.
Right, and we're on not only Spotify, we're on Apple Music, we're on Amazon.
We're on all
I
of
guess
it.
we're on Pandora too, somebody told me, so that's really cool. And just put in Acoustic Minds and you'll find us.
There you go. I will admit there's a little cheat that I've done, and I probably shouldn't be saying this on the air, but I'll go ahead and admit it because I know it's not illegal or anything. I'm just afraid Spotify will do something about it now that I mention it.
No, tell us.
I actually will put music that has less than 1,000 plays in one playlist, and then just put it on repeat.
Smart.
And when I'm like in meetings or something, it'll be like in the background in a different room where I'm not even actively listening to
a lot
it,
of
and
people
then
do
just
that.
let
It's
it go on
huge.
repeat.
Yes.
Because that thing of if it's less than 1,000 streams, you don't get paid. And in this way, if I just put it on repeat, that means it's going to cycle through that whole list of artists who have less than 1,000 plays. And
Yeah.
eventually, if I just let that go for however long I want to let it go when I'm not even at home,
That's what's up, you know. And there's actually, I was going to comment on this. So Free Creatures, they actually said, just put it on repeat. Put it on in your house on repeat, and it really helped them as well. It was like a good. That I don't think you're the only person that does that. It's like, as long as the song's playing, I don't think Spotify cares whether you're listening to it loud or soft, you know, or whether it's background music or whatever it is.
Put it in a playlist when you go to bed at night, and then just, you know, click that little playlist and repeat. I do that with all my favorite songs. I definitely do that little one-time repeat, and trust me.
Oh yeah,
there are
Amanda's
several
so
artists
obsessed
I'm-
with certain artists, and
Oh,
she
yes.
will listen to them over and over and over again. At
like
one point,
1,000 times.
yes. At one point, our friend's like, "Are you listening to the same song on repeat?" And she's like, "I sure as heck am. I love this song."
Some people
I'm
don't
not
get it, but I don't
ashamed.
get tired of it at all. Like when you love a song, you just love a song. So
there you go. What has been on your most loved repeated list lately?
oh my gosh, we're obsessed with an artist by the name of Maro. She's from Portugal, and she is absolutely phenomenal. She actually came to Oregon in Portland
She
in
played
January
Holocene in February.
or February, and we got to meet her. And I'm so obsessed with her music. Jenny introduced me to her when we were on tour in Europe, and she has just so many beautiful songs, but she's primarily acoustic with a bunch of different acoustic guitars when you see her live, but she started working with a producer, which was one of her very dear friends, and kind of like what we did, you know, and she started making these just dance tracks to her beautiful voice and songwriting. And her songs before that were just, you know, rip out your heart, so good. I mean, I think Billie Eilish like called her out 2 years ago and was
She
like,
did.
I'm obsessed with her. John Mayer just called out her brand new single. And so, you know, she's going places. We got to meet her. I just felt like a kid in the candy store. I was front row.
Amanda fangirled so
I
hard.
was
I mean, we both
beaming.
were, but she stopped in the middle of a song and said, "Okay, I just have to ask," because Amanda and I are in the front row, and we're twins. So people that are out there, we're fairly identical twins. I mean,
Yes.
we are identical, but
Yes.
in certain ways, depending on where we're standing, what side we're on, we're more identical. And we were on this side that
We were
is
the mirror side,
twins.
yes.
And she said, "I just have to ask, are you guys siblings, or lovers, or twins, and just had this whole conversation in the middle of a song with us in the front row. And then at the end, we waited to talk to her because she was like, I'll speak with anybody who wants to wait. And so we're
the first people that came to.
We kind of like cut in line and we're like, we're here. We need to talk.
We were just the first ones waiting at the door. She came out. So
exactly.
We were those people. And I want to be very real. When we were very young, we went to Lilith Fair. Those kids out there are like, wow, you're old. But Lilith Fair.
We were like,
we were very young, and we were about as far away from you, Rochelle, as to Sarah McLachlan. And we could not speak. We were both just like dumbfounded.
She's like, hello, how are you? And we were both just like,
nothing would come out. It was, and I
so
promised myself that I would not have that same scenario happen with Morrow. And we may have talked for her too long, but I was like, you have all these people here. And she's like, I do. And I was like, but I would be remiss to not ask if we could sing with you. And she was just like, what?
No, she goes, say what? Because she's Portuguese. So she's like, did I hear that right? You want to sing with me? And she was like, yes, please. And so we just burst into song with her. She sang a whole verse of Amanda's favorite song. This is a song called Lifeline. For anybody out there, look up Maro, M-A-R-O, Lifeline. One of her best. I mean, they're all amazing. You can't pick a bad song in her.
The whole thing, you
repertoire.
could just listen to her, This Is Morrow, and you'll just be.
But yeah, we ended up singing with her, 3-part harmony. I mean, just total surreal dream come true. And Amanda was like floating on a cloud for like days after.
I really was. What I took from that is do hard things. Do things that scare you.
Things that make you uncomfortable.
Like I was shaking like a leaf. Our friend was there too, and she loves her just as much. And she was like, I couldn't even say a word. I was just staring at you guys.
She took pictures of her, and she just looked at her and went, I took your pictures. And I was just like, we're all such geeks. I love it.
But I mean, I just had to ask her, and I'm so glad I did. And she was so sweet, and we got a photo with her. And then later she wrote us and just said, I really wish you guys the best on your journey. And, deep down, I really just want to keep singing with her. So, Morrow, if you're out there, come back to Oregon.
We love you.
The twins here, Acoustic Minds, will sing with you and harmonize with you because we are obsessed.
I'm also going to throw out there for anyone who goes to a show, particularly local shows, not like big stadium shows, go talk to the artists afterward.
Yes, they love it. And you'll feel so good that you did. Also, if you ever come to one of our shows, we're not in the stadiums yet, ... So come talk to us. We love chatting, and I want to give you a butterfly clip.
That's right.
Which I have a head full of now.
Yes, I've butterflied everyone that wanted one in the studio. I don't know if Elijah wants one, but if he does, we'll give him one too.
That's right.
I like how he's nodding like, yep, he'll do
Yep.
Heck yeah. You never know who likes a butterfly. I mean,
Right.
who doesn't? They're
Everyone.
beautiful.
There you go. We all need more beauty in the world because we're dealing with enough.
I agree.
Oh my goodness, it's so true. I mean, the whole record that we're writing right now, that we're about to continue writing when we go on this retreat, is like she said, apocalyptic love, fighting beauty in the chaos. And I just think it's such an important part of our humanity, is understanding that the world is chaotic, but that it's our job to continue to like find joy and love and continue to spread that into the world.
And also, like, don't lose your empathy. I feel like there's this weird rhetoric going around right now that empathy is weak. And I completely disagree. I think that if we aren't able to empathize with others, then we've lost our humanity altogether. And I think that it's so important that we have compassion and, patience for people, because we don't know what the heck people are going through. I know I'm about to lose my mind, and you'd think I'm doing fine. So, I mean, just check on your people. That's the biggest thing, is just check on the people around you and make sure they're okay.
I'm a big fan of, if you don't know what to say, send them a silly meme.
There you go.
Yes.
And some of those just make me really laugh. I need those. Lately, I've been watching a lot of Lenny, the Blob. I don't know if you know who he is, but
I love Lenny
he gives
so
these
much.
sweet affirmations.
Ella, do you know Lenny? Oh, so good if you do. Lenny's this little like anime character, like cartoon
He just looks
character.
like a little blob. And he just says all
He's
these
always
sweet
like,
things about what you could be
"Hello, I
going
love
through.
you."
And at the end, he's like, okay, I love you, goodbye. And he like floats away. And yeah, Lenny the Blob is my man right now. He really keeps, or Lenny the Blob is my person, because I think they're non-binary.
Yes.
There you go. Before we run out of time, because I know we only have about 10 minutes left, I want to make sure people know where they can find your music, about your upcoming shows, and of
Yes.
course, after you answer all of that, want to also ask about, what you've got coming up on the horizon here, the new fun things?
Awesome. You can find everything that you need to know about us on our webpage, theammusic.com, AM for Acoustic Minds. So the ammusic.com has all of our socials, has all of our streaming platforms, our full schedule. It has some really cute pictures from our big show we did at the Crystal Ballroom this January for the Portland Folk Fest. Shout out to the Portland Folk Fest. Their tickets just went on sale today for early
That's right. Get
early
those early
tickets.
bird.
So please grab those. Fox and Bones, our dear friends, throw that event, and it's just incredible. Our next big show coming up is a Fleetwood Mac and Radiohead tribute show that we put on. It's going to be at the Alberta Abbey May 3rd. That's what we're gearing up for right now. Although we are busy as heck, we're going to be headed to Redmond and Bend this following weekend. And and then the Radiohead tribute band we're working with is called OK Not OK. They're so incredible. They literally replicate Radiohead to the T. Their singer sounds exactly like Tom York. I mean, it is one of the coolest bands ever. We've been wanting to play with them forever. We've been wanting to do a show together. Same with Manifesting, do things you're scared of. We literally reached out to them at a show and said, can we sing with you? And they said, you sure can. And now we're friends and we're playing a show together. So it just make those weird, uncomfortable moments. And please come see us at the Alberta Abbey on May 3rd. Moving forward to that, our big release show is at the Hollow Scene coming up this summer. You can find all the information on that at our website, theammusic.com. We just got booked a bunch of really awesome festivals. We can't really announce them yet, but they're going to be on our webpage too. If you'd like to hear us with our full 6-piece band with just wompy subs everywhere, which is what we love and prefer the most, come see us this summer.
I still have the Womp equals bass.
Womp equals bass, period. You have, oh my gosh, you are one of the first. I love it.
A friend of ours still has one of those too, Dr. Fish, Fish, and he goes in the store and he wears the Womp equals bass, and the guy goes, Womp equals bass, and he's like, excuse me, sir,
I think
it's
pronounced
bass.
I think it's pronounced bass. And I'm like, I love you, Fish. Shout out to Fish. We love you so much.
That's so great. I just always think of Josh with the womp womp womp.
Yes.
Doing that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So real.
Josh and Aaron, we're coming for you. We'll see you this weekend. Our last song is a song, it's called Beautiful Chaos. I feel like it's really tied into what we've been talking about, finding the beauty in the chaos, creating those love bubbles. I just want to say this before we do this. Please go out into the world and spread kindness. I think that right now we're living in such a crazy juxtaposition of goodness and bad, and it feels very distracting. There's a lot of outside forces. My mom would say that's the devil, but for those people out there who believe in energy or spirit or just evil in general, don't let those forces stop you from being who you are. You deserve to be on this planet. This planet is big enough for us all. And beyond that, I just want everyone to lead with kindness, go out there, understand that you have no idea what anyone else is going through. You can only control yourself. So it's our job to spread the light inside of us as bright as possible, and love who you love, be who you are. You deserve to be on this planet. You've been here. We've all been on this planet since the beginning of time, and our ancestors had to work pretty dang hard for us to be here today. So I think it would be doing us a disservice to not be working as hard as we can to be the most authentic we are.
Before you go, can you do a station drop?
Yeah. So you're listening to the AM Acoustic Minds here on KPSU. Thank you, Rochelle, for having us always. We love you. And this song is called Beautiful Chaos.
With DJ Rochelle.
You guys.
Wishing on a star. Wishes only go so far. Throwing pennies in my well. Lately it feels like hell. Do you feel comfortable in all of this beautiful chaos? You know that we both want this to work. Know that it can hurt our cause. Oh, 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 oh.
The world felt a little smaller now. Two worlds collided. You crashed into me now. You nearly knocked me out. Two worlds collided, collided. Beautiful chaos. Beautiful chaos. Do you feel comfortable in all of this beautiful chaos? You know that we both want this to work. Know that it can hurt and would cost, but at what cost? Do you feel comfortable in all of this beautiful chaos? Beautiful chaos. You know that we both want this to work. Know that it can hurt and would cost, but at what cost? I've been taking more chances. I've been wondering how it's going. I've been jumping out of my skin. I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling better now. Thank you, KPSU, for having us. Thank you, DJ Rochelle. Thank you, Ella. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Portland State. We are Acoustic Minds, the ANmusic.com. Find us. Do you feel comfortable in all of this beautiful chaos? Beautiful chaos. Know that we both want this to work. Know that it can hurt and would cost, but at what cost? But at what cost?
Got a minute 30 seconds.
Woo!
All right, in that minute 30, I get to ask the fun random things.
Yes.
Okay, what was the last concert you went to that you were not performing at?
I think it was Morrow, honestly. Oh no, you know what? We go and we see a lot of our friends perform.
I think the last concert we saw was
Haley. Fox and Bones at Showdown, and then Haley Johnson right before that.
and then Bonnie Kyle and Karen
that's
Ann.
right. That's the last one we saw.
I think that was one of the last ones we saw at the Showdown too.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot. Like normally we're on the road a lot, or we're just like, oh my gosh, we're dead when we're home. But we've been really trying to go out as much as possible. So we try to see all of our local, our fam, you know, the people that we love. Glitter Fox was one that we saw recently when they played at the Get Down. What else did we see? We saw a lot of shows.
Gosh, you just said like 5.
How? Well, when you go to a show and you're not performing, as an artist, though, what stands out to you? Because you look at it differently than just your average concert goer.
Constantly taking notes. I mean, it's just like looking at the stage show, looking at the lights, looking at the performance, listening to the voices is the first thing we hear, because if it's not on key, we're like, we're losing it. But I really like to look at visuals a lot. I like to see if there's like choreography. I like to see just what the setup is. A lot of people are using in-ear monitors right now, so I've been looking a lot at those because we want to up our game and get some in-ear monitors, and also just save our ears because we've been doing this for a while, and as you can tell, it's loud in here. That's probably because we're deaf.
That's right, kids. When you go to a concert, it's a good thing to bring earplugs. Just throwing that out there. If you don't have them, you could always grab, toilet paper. That's
so real.
in your ear. Just save your ears.
There's also some really cool earplugs out there right now. So you can do the ones that have, they're like these half moon ones, and you can kind of twist them and they'll go like different dBs. So like if you want to be able to hear and not be completely muted out, that is one level. And I love those. We need to get those in general because, protect your ears, right?
For sure. Okay, in the last 30 seconds here,
Yes.
talk to me about what you hope for, like your goals, what things you're trying to manifest right now.
Well, we're woman festing because that's a new thing. So, women get done, and we've been woman festing a PR company to help us with our PR, which we just met with someone in the UK, and also we're manifesting a booking agent for a tour and a manager. So these are the things that we're calling into the universe. If anyone out there is just one of those things and wants to help two twins, just go all the way to the top, wherever that happens to be. In this case, we'd really like to play Red Rocks. That's one that we've been wanting for a long time.
Yep.
We have a vision board, and we just keep putting things on there. So most of the things on there from last year made it. So that's a good thing.
That's great. Okay. I think we've got like 10 seconds. So thank you again, Acoustic Minds. So appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for
AM
having
music.
us.
So love having you here. Thank you.